Guys, welcome back to the channel. Okay, it's been a while since I've done a video on Enshrouded. I've clocked over 200 plus hours in the game. I've still got a lot to do in the game itself. But I was just thinking the other day, I thought, do you know what? I should throw out a little video on the top 10 tips that I think that's helped me along my journey in Enshrouded. It's been an absolute blast of a game. There is so much going on. I'm hooked into building. That's why I've probably got over 200 hours into it. So guys, yeah, if any of these tips are helpful, be sure just to let me know. Drop a comment down below if I've missed any really important ones that you think that you could let me know and share with the rest of the community. Guys, tell me what you think. Here we go. Okay guys, so the first thing that I do every time I load into the game, whenever I start to play the game, the first thing I always do, I go and hit my water well. That's well, if you've got one in your base, that's absolutely fantastic. But if you're starting in the beginning area, I always tend to go to the first water well that we approach when we first start playing the game and stack up on those waters. I can't stress to you how much water is important in this game. It's used for various of things, and in the future of the game, when you come along, it's going to be worth, you know, it's going to be worth you actually picking all these up. It's so important. So yeah, tip number one, make sure you stock up on your water well. It's one of the ones that I've always done. So yeah, see how you get on with that. Okay guys, for tip number two, gather as many berries and mushrooms as possible. Now if you're following step number one that I gave you and you're gathering your water all the time, this would be very helpful, as when you receive the alchemist as a member to your base area, he is able to craft potions for you. So what I've like started doing myself is I've just started collecting loads of them. So when you get to that point where you're running low on potions and you've not found any for a while, it's so good just to have a good stock of them. All I've done, I put a big stock of them in here and I just start piling them up. Now I run this server with a couple of other people and we all sort of share the berries and the mushrooms, so we're forever using them all the time. So yeah, always make a good stock of these, keep them going, and you should never run out of potions. Okay guys, so for tip number three, I've always gone for studying your enemy and the way they move and learn their pattern. When it comes to a bit further on in the game, you're going to encounter bosses that are going to get a little bit more tougher. Now this enemy here, I know that he fires a bolt, so I'll always block his attack and then I'll reach in and do the attack then. So learning enemies moves, the way they, you know, the way they move, their patterns, understanding what each enemy does is very helpful in Enshrouded. There's some of the bosses, they have like different kinds of moves that they'll do when they're at certain health in the game. So yeah, learning these moves is very helpful in the game. So yeah, I would say make sure you pay attention and study how they move and, you know, and how they attack you as well. Okay guys, so tip number four, always keep up to date with all the NPC requests. Now every NPC that you get in the game will have little requests for you to do. So I'm at the carpenter now, so just for instance, the production place, he wanted a table saw, he wants a kiln, and I always keep, you know, just keep going there, keep speaking to them, and every time you do other things, you know, every time you do things to them, they'll give you something else to do. Same with the blacksmith as well. He wanted the forge, the smelter, and the charcoal kiln. So yeah, keeping an eye on all the stuff that they need is big. You know, it's a big step in the game. You know, you're going to get loads of things that you're going to be able to craft with these people. It's absolutely amazing. It really is. Okay, so for tip number five, learn how to parry really well. Once you've mastered the parry technique, most enemies will kind of become quite easy. Learning this goes back to when I was saying about learning their pattern. So watching when they attack, how they attack, learn how they fight. When this side, just get those parries nailed down to a T. You know, this goes to learning their patterns, like I was saying before. Parrying in Enshrouded is so important. It's going to save your life a hell of a lot. So yeah, tip number five, yeah, getting your parry mastered. Okay, so tip number six, this has been such a really good one for me to use. I've been using this for quite a while now. It's been absolutely helpful. So when you're traveling around, always make sure that you're keeping a spare flame altar, even 2 spare flame altars with you. Now I'm going to show you. I've got 6 that are placed in my base at the moment, so I'm just going to go back to one that I've got actually put up over here. The good thing about having multiple flame altars around, there's actually a few things which is really good for it. So if you become overweight, you can place it down, you can fast travel back to your home, and you can drop all your resources off there and repair your equipment. And also, if you find an area where you're looking for, I don't know, like a certain material, like for me here, I've been looking for limestone. So I found a flame altar, I found a big chunk of it, and I just started, you know, just digging away, you know, just chopping away. Absolutely fantastic, guys. Honestly, you know, it's going to save you a bunch of time. You can repair things on the fly if you bring a workbench with you. Absolutely #1 tip. It really is helpful, and I would advise quite a lot of people to actually carry some flame altars around with them. Okay, so for tip number 7, every time you see a new resource, be sure to pick it up. In this game, guys, you're going to come across loads and loads of resources. At the beginning, they may not be useful to you, but yeah, collect them, get them stacked up. You would never know what you're going to need a little bit further in the game. Now, I've started collecting loads of stuff as I've been going along. I've also used a lot as I've been playing as well. And it's been absolutely fantastic. Now, what I decided to do myself, I started collecting rows of 3 of everything. Obviously, I've gone low on quite a lot of stuff now because I've been using them to build certain things. But yeah, collecting these guys is absolutely, it's key to everything. You're never going to know when you're going to need them at all. It's just so important just to keep stock of everything. So yeah, every time you see a new resource, be sure to pick it up, stock them up, and yeah, just keep an eye out on what they do as well. Check out their you know, their traits and what they're there for. So yeah, that's a pretty good tip. Okay, so tip number 8 is quite an obvious one, but you'd be surprised the amount of people that are not doing this. I've been watching a few people stream this game, and they forget to just do this one thing. It's quite important. So always prepare for your adventure, as you never know what's ahead of you at all. You really don't. So I always make sure that I've got enough potions, that all my equipment is repaired. I carry a spare weapon. I always, you know, I mean, I'm playing as a wizard, a little bit of a wizard, but you know, stroke a little bit of something else. So I always make sure I have my wand, my staff, or my spells. I have a sword always on the offhand because you just never know when you need it for some close combat. And I've got my bow. I try to make sure I've always got some arrows and a spare wand all the time. Now that's my go-to setup, but always make sure all your stuff's prepared. Make sure you've got your water, and also make sure you've got your food as well. So, which is going to lead to the next tip. So for the next one, guys, when you're going out on your travels, make sure that you have your active buffs available. There's 3 slots in the top left-hand corner of the screen. As you eat food, I'll just eat some food just to show you one active. So as you eat food, you'll see now that I've got a buff there in the top left hand corner activated. The same if I was to drink water, I'll just drink some water and just keep them going. You know, these buffs are going to help you so much. Different food does different things. When you get the farmer, she unlocks a lot of different recipes that do other buffs and stuff like that for you. So yeah, always make sure that they're not empty. Get them full before you go out on your travels, most definitely. Okay, this one's really quite important for when you're looking at the skill tree. Now, I always say have a good look at the skill tree and decide what kind of style you might want to go for. Now, personally, myself, I didn't decide what style of character I was going to go for a while, and it may take you a while as well to choose. But there is some really good early skills I would suggest to get as soon as you can, as it will help dramatically in game. So what I decided to go for most of all was the double jump, which I felt like the most useful skill that you could have in this game to reach higher places. And I also, as soon as I had my glider updraft as well, was an absolute life check. You know, it's just a game changer for me. It really was. Now I always make sure I was running on my core attributes, going through the middle as the wizard now, but all of them have different they all have different attributes themselves for what you're going for, but the core ones for me were right through the middle there. So have a look around, take your time, see what these see what they do, and see how this will help your character in the game. Okay guys, for the next tip, so when you stumble across new gear, be sure to check out the attributes of the gear and its perks. Now, gear is not very common in Enshrouded. You don't come across it that frequently, I've noticed. So it's best to look and understand what you're wearing and also what your character is wearing. Now, for me, I know that I'm a mage wizard, so I'm looking for anything that's got really good magical resistance and anything that actually can help increase my mana and stuff like that. Like my 1 damage with these gloves, I get a plus 6% 1 damage and a plus 7% damage against magical foes. So it's always best to always look at all the gear. Don't just think to yourself, oh no, you know, this is not my piece of gear, I don't want to wear that. Some of these gear pieces are very important, guys, honestly. So yeah, be sure to be checking the gear and what's good for the build that you're going for. So guys, there you have it. That is my top 10 tips that I can give you so far for the game of what I've done. Now I'm gonna, as I'm playing through a little bit more, I'm gonna do more videos on this when I start learning some other stuff. I'm also, once I finish my whole base with my buddy, we're gonna go back and we're gonna do like a base tour of what it looks like. Hope you guys are enjoying Enshrouded. The game's absolutely fantastic. I have no faults in the game whatsoever. Really happy and enjoying it so much. Guys, if you've got any tips and tricks that you know that you can share with us, please be sure to drop a comment down below. Let us know. We'll be very interested and keen to listen. Guys, take care. Hope you've enjoyed the video, and I'll catch you very soon. Take care.